I'm Eric Lanask. We're here at Editor's Day in Santa Clara. On the program with me this afternoon from Openwave Mobility is Indranil Chatterjee. Indranil, thank you for joining me. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, Eric. My pleasure.
So let's talk data a little bit. Anybody that's got certainly a mobile device know that data, we're creating tons and tons of data, but it goes beyond just what we're doing as users. The enterprise, everybody's creating so much more data. What impact is that having? And kind of what I want to get at is, what is Openwave's role in that whole mobile data explosion?
Yeah, absolutely, Eric. So, as you've said, data is growing at a phenomenal rate. One of the projections that I was reading recently, data is supposed to grow tenfold between now and 2020.
Wow.
It is, as I said, it's staggering, the numbers. And roughly 60% of that is going to be mobile video. So what we do, Eric, is we help our customers, who are primarily the mobile operators, manage and monetize this data. So we are helping them manage sending this data through their network while preserving the quality for the end users.
Interesting. So what are the challenges currently that the operators are facing in doing that?
Yeah. So number one, of course, is just the growth of it and keeping up with that amount of traffic. You need to have a comprehensive solution that cuts across your radio access network, your backhaul, all the way to the core. Secondly, the other challenge they're facing is today roughly half of that data is secure, including for video. So YouTube, Facebook, and Netflix has also announced they will go secure starting in a few months or in early 2016. And that makes it even more difficult because now, as a mobile operator, you're looking at a tunnel and you're pretty blind, right? You don't know what's going inside the tunnel. Is that video? Is that audio? Is that web? And then how do I apply techniques to optimize kind of in the dark while preserving the quality for my end user? So those are, I would say, a couple of challenges they are facing.
So when you talk about an increasing flow of traffic across the network, you may have seen it as well. I just recently saw for the first time a commercial by one of the 4 major carriers in the U.S. effectively saying, we have a better network because we create a better door for your traffic to walk through, right? And they actually used some graphics on the screen just showing more people being able to go through because they have a bigger doorway. But so the implication being, well, we've got a bigger pipe, so your data is going to get through on our network. But that's not necessarily the case, is it?
No, I mean, again, it's hard to keep up with this staggering growth. The peak throughputs will only grow twofold between now and 2020, but data is going to go tenfold. So regardless of who the operator is and regardless of how much capex they have, they're all facing this challenge, right? And how to squeeze more bytes through the limited pipes and the limited spectrum that they have, because the appetite of the end users is just voracious, right? There is no end to it. So therefore, they need a solution that can help them manage that traffic while, again, maintaining the quality for the end users.
So how do you help them do that?
Great question. So a couple of things. One is we just recently launched our Secure Traffic Manager product. It, in fact, got an award from Informa for the best traffic management solution. As part of that solution, what we do is we help the operators, number one, understand what's going through this blind tunnel in terms of secure traffic. Is it web? Is it video? Within video, is it download video or is it streaming video? Because if it's download video, you let it go. It's one time. You don't want to touch that. But if it's streaming video, the likes of YouTube, the likes of Netflix, and there are a whole host of streaming sites, again, what happens is the protocol driving a lot of the streaming video is adaptive bitrate. And adaptive bitrate was architected primarily for wireline. It has some deficiencies when it comes to radio access network. So we have these patented heuristics to not only understand that this is streaming video, but also understand the resolution of the video. And that is important. And so once we understand the resolution of the video, then we optimize to do two things. One, make sure that if you're the end consumer, your video quality is not oscillating, because that's what ends up happening in a mobile network. As your bandwidth goes up and down, you keep oscillating between high definition, standard definition, and low definition, which ends up being a bad user experience.
Right.
So we, number one, eliminate those oscillations. Number two, again, given some of the physics of that protocol, if there are 5 or 6 people or more people in a particular cell, and if that cell is congested, whoever started doing video first would be getting a great experience, whereas the 5th, 6th, 10th, whatever number of people who are coming in later on and starting to do video, they would be getting a much lower resolution of the video. So we help even out that experience across that sector of users. So the net result is users have better experience, and the operators are also able to maximize the traffic. To your analogy, number of people getting in through that restricted door. So that's how we, our solution, the Secure Traffic Manager, helps optimize, at the same time improve the quality of experience. So we are very proud of that innovation, and it's a GA product now, and it is launched in 2 operators around the globe.
Excellent. What about a strategy that I've heard about spoken with a few folks about, something like around content caching, right? Local caching of popular content, so that it doesn't have to travel quite as far, and strategies like that.
Yeah, great question. So yes, we do have our solution also has a caching component. One of the challenges, Eric, that is happening with secure traffic is, unless you have the keys to that content, and so you need to have a business relationship with the content provider. If they are encrypting it,
Gotcha.
Then they will not let anybody in the middle cache that content. So that is one challenge that solution providers are facing with that approach.
Interesting, and makes a lot of sense. Do you foresee a scenario where the content providers and either network operators or third-party solution providers like Openwave will enter partnerships where you're able to do something like that, where they allow you to cache their content?
I think in general, yes. The long-term answer is yes. I do believe increasingly the over-the-top and the operators will have to work out certain arrangements and partner, but it's not going to be easy, because the DNA from a culture, from an organization perspective, I just see are very different. The mobile operator and their culture and the number of people that they have and the processes that they have versus the over-the-top player, who could be literally a 100-person team running out of some data centers in the cloud and just rendering content to the end user. So it is not going to be easy. It's going to take some time, I believe.
So we know that there's only a limited amount of bandwidth. There's only a limited amount of spectrum available. But we also know, you talked about the growth of mobile data. So how soon are we going to reach a point where there's not necessarily enough that Openwave or anybody else can do to optimize that traffic because there's just too much traffic? Is that going to happen?
I would like to think no, but I think we'll find out eventually with time. But here's the thing. The people I talk to, I say, look, the internet doesn't have a roadmap, right? So if you look back and try to learn from history, what we have seen is there has been continuous evolution in technology, both, and if you look at the ecosystem, you have the content providers, the over-the-top players, right? You have the mobile operators in this ecosystem, and let's not forget, then you have the device, and the Apples and the Googles of the world, right? And there is constant evolution in technology across the spectrum, and I do strongly believe that they're all kind of keeping up in some respects, right? And so the operators are innovating in terms of the radio access network, in terms of optimization techniques, in terms of backhaul techniques. There is Wi-Fi offload, right?
Sure, of course.
So that is a key factor
helps, yes.
in this. There is the whole virtualization. So one of the things we have focused on is on virtualizing all of our solutions. We are NFV enabled across our solution portfolio, and what that allows us to do for our operators is this real-time elasticity that will be required, right? Because one of the things, Eric, if you break down the problem, is in peak throughputs, right? And not even on the average peak, on certain days of the year, right? Like Christmas, Halloween. We have seen traffic go up 2x, 3x on those days, on certain days. So you need to have a solution that can scale up and scale down in real time. Gone are the days where you can be, or you should be provisioning and planning 12 months in advance. So, long answer, but the net of it is, I think the evolution is happening across, in technology is happening across the ecosystem. And with a comprehensive approach, which includes Wi-Fi offload, which includes optimization, which includes going to the cloud, whether it's private or public, and having a elastic solution, I do believe we can avoid such a day where, as an end user, you're like, I can't get what I want, right? But that is, if you ask me, yes, that is a challenge that would keep us in the ecosystem up at night.
Excellent. Well, and it is all about the end user experience. Indranil, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Eric.